Hello, I'm going to present our project for the Net Zero building assignment, and our chosen building is NUS SDE-4. So first of all, I'm going to go over who says what. I'm going to present the background information as well as the renewable energy sources used. Gabriel T is going to go over our site analysis. Gabriel Javoso and John are going to present our passive design strategies, and last but not least, Danish will go over our active design strategies and green architecture. First, I'm going to present the background. So SDE-4 was built on 8 Architecture Drive, and it's been operational since January 2019. Its architects are Siri Architects and Multiply Architects. Its occupancy type is academic, its project area is 8,514 square meters, and its EPI is 58 kilowatts per meter square per year. Next, I'm going to be talking about our renewable energy sources. So firstly is solar panels. SDE-4 gets 100% of its power through a solar farm on its large overhanging roof, which comprises of over 1,200 solar photovoltaic panels, which generate over 500 megawatts of electricity per year. They produced 619,345 kilowatts between April 2019 and March 2020, and of that they only used 470,750 kilowatts. This left them with 148,595 kilowatts of energy to spare. The spare energy is fed back to the grid, and they are expected to be able to feed a surplus of energy back into the power grid over the entirety of this building's lifespan, which is about 25 years. This is a diagram of how the solar panels are put up so that it would interact nicely with the sun path in the area. Next, we have a non-power source eco-measure, which helps to reduce their footprint on the grid, and this is water. They have a rainwater collection system in the building. 1/3 of roof rainwater runoff is collected into a bioretention basin. This slows down rainwater runoff and filters the water through a dense vegetation layer. 2/3 of the roof rainwater runoff are collected in a rainwater harvesting tank, and this harvested water is then used for flushing and irrigation, which caters up to 4 days of the building's non-potable water demand. Next, I'll pass the time on to Gabriel T, who will go over our site analysis.
So now I'll be presenting our site analysis. So for the first thing that I'll be presenting is our sun path. So this is our sun path for NUS SDE-4 building. The sun rises from the east and sets in the west. Then followed by our wind direction and speed. So the highest wind speed recorded in Singapore is 11 miles per hour, followed by the lowest being 5.2 miles per hour, and then giving an average of 7.6 miles per hour, and the direction of the wind is coming from the southwest. And then finally our humidity. Humidity has been relatively constant for the whole year, so which will lead to an average of 100%. So next I'll be handing over the time to John, who will be presenting on passive design strategies.
Thank you, Gabriel T, for the site analysis. Let's move on to passive design strategies. The first strategy SDE-4 uses is lighting. The abundant use of large windows allow for more daylight to enter spaces. Another thing is that they use lamellas to reflect light into the rooms inside the building. This allows for the building to have more sunlight. Lastly, for my part, the building is split into floating boxes for better cross-ventilation, reducing overall energy usage. That's about it for my part. I'll be handing it over to Gabriel Gervoso.
SDE-4 is also oriented towards the southeast, which is the prevailing wind direction of Singapore. This allows it to be cooled by wind instead of through mechanical ventilation. The east and west facades are clad in undulating perforated aluminum. The east and west facades are clad in undulating perforated aluminum panels, which moderates heat gain by sunlight by filtering it. As for the north facade, it features a large overhang that provides shade for the spaces below.
Hi, I will be presenting the active design strategies.
So in active design strategies, it's using LED lighting. Using LED lighting would increase its lifespan, energy efficiency, which therefore means low power consumption, and therefore saving electrical bills and reduce energy usage. Receptacle load control: when the space is not needed or used, its lights would be automatically switched off, as well as its electronic devices, therefore once again reducing energy usage. And there's also something called VAV, variable air volume boxes, which regulate the volume of air into a zone or space based on the feedback given by the thermal sensors. If the thermal sensors detect the space to be too hot, then more volumes of air will be pumped. If the space is detected to be cold, then less air would be allowed in the zone. On the next slide, lamellas are used, which is in 30 degrees, to reduce the sunlight coming into the space, to reduce glaring, but overall to prevent the space from being too hot for occupancy. And ceiling fans are installed to allow the artificial movement of wind. Other smart features include the windows of hybrid tempered rooms are equipped with sensors that trigger the system to switch off the air conditioning when the windows are open. Daylight utilization is enhanced through a network of photocells and occupancy sensors in addition to the architectural design. Demand control ventilation strategies are in place to ensure that indoor carbon dioxide levels do not exceed 750 ppm. Sensors measure, track, and optimize indoor air quality. Now I will be going through green architecture, what biophilic designs are employed for the building. Biophilic design allows the architects to bridge the gap between man-made architecture and the environment. The benefits of biophilic design would allow occupants and users to improve their cognitive function, physical health, and psychological function. Biophilic design allows naturally ventilated air as well as natural sunlight into the space. The architects create a close proximity with the plants and the buildings so that the users can breathe in fresh air with oxygen produced by the plants. The presence of the plants close to the building does not make the users feel restricted, small, but spacious and hospitable at the same time. Biophilic design allows sunlight and air to come into the space, therefore reducing the reliance on electrical light and ventilation.
For our final topic, I will be sharing with you guys the flora and fauna found around and in NUS SDE-4. So some of the animals that you can find are blue-collared kingfishers, red jugglerfowls, plantain squirrels, rose-ringed parakeets, yellow-vented bobo, changeable lizards, and oriental pied hornbills. And plant species, we can find the sea apple, Malayan teak, Kelat hitam, waring fig, and the ara tree.
Alright, so here are our links and references that we used throughout the presentation, and I'd like to close off by saying thank you for your time and attention. Bye bye!